the good life, full of fun.
Hey guys, welcome to my kitchen. Another exciting day in my kitchen. Where are we going? What are we making? I'll tell you where we're going first off. Normally we take a trip to Italy, and that's great, and I love to travel to Italy with you guys. But today we're going to take a little detour. My mom's kitchen. My mother is truly one of the nicest, most gentle, sweet women you'd ever meet in your life. I'm so blessed to have my mom, and she would make this great Italian chili. You know, I mean, it's chili, but with nothing but Italiano in it. You know, I mean, it's great. So we're gonna recreate that recipe with a little bit of Joe Borio. Forget about it influence, okay? So we've got a lot of ingredients. I don't want you to be intimidated by that. As much as there's a lot of ingredients, this thing actually goes really quickly because essentially we're gonna break everything up and just mix it in a pot. We're gonna let it cook. But there's always a few tips I wanna give you and a couple of strategies that take the chili and really deepen its flavor, give it a rustic Italian flavor that you normally wouldn't get if you just throw it all in the pot. So let's share the ingredients. I'm gonna go slow because and I may have to actually break for air a few times because there's so many here. So number one, we always want to add flavor. Never add water to anything is my rule. So what we're gonna start with is 4 cups of vegetable stock. We've got 2 cans of cannellini beans, right? They are awesome. So with the cannellini beans, we've got 2 cans, 15 ounce. I have emptied them, rinsed them, okay, strained them. Okay, so there's our beans. Phenomenal, right? Now I've got some peppers. You can use any kind of pepper you want, per se. We're gonna use 3 peppers, and I like to add color, so I got a red, an orange, and a yellow, right? We're starting to hit some rainbow there. I like it to look like a garden, right? Nice 1 big onion. You can use whatever onion you want. I've got 1 big one, and then I've got essentially 2 bunches, just about 1/3 of a pound of green onion or scallions. And we're going to use these, and I'm going to keep the greens, if you will, right, to add to the top, just to give it a nice little dressing. We got butter. We got 4 tablespoons of butter. If you got unsalted, great. And then you're going to add salt, obviously. If you have salted butter, no problem. Just taste everything before you add salt, okay? So no problem. I've got 4 cloves of garlic. Oh, man, garlic. I got 4, and I say 4, and I mean, you know, grande, right, grosso. 4 tablespoons of tomato paste. Now, I've got 4 heavy tablespoons. So when I say tablespoon, I mean tablespoon, okay? And that means, you know, we're not baking here, we're cooking, okay? I've got 2.5 tablespoons of chili powder. So that is our chili powder. That is beautiful, and it's deep. And I always try to make sure that they give me a little bit extra smoke on it, okay? I've got about 4.5 ounces of pancetta. Again, it's Italian bacon, it's pork belly, but it's not smoked. Phenomenal, right? Paprika. Now, what I've got here is 1 teaspoon of paprika. What I have here is smoked paprika. So if you can get the smoked paprika, it's like the chili powder. It's deeper. It's got a deeper, more complex flavor. Fantastic, okay? I have got 1.25 pounds of ground beef. Awesome, 80%, right, lean. I've got 1.25 pounds of sweet sausage, 1.25 pounds of hot sausage, all right? I mean, are you on the edge of your seat right now? Or are you like, oh my God, I can't even stand it, right? That's where I'm at right now, okay? I've got a 1/2 teaspoon of oregano. I have got a 1/2 teaspoon of thyme. Remember, thyme goes great with meat. There's a lot of meat in here, so does oregano, right? I have 1/2 teaspoon here of the pepperoncini ground, right? So the hot pepper flake. Oh, and again, if you can get it smoked, great. If you can't, it's all good. I have got 1 teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper. Oh, you know, so you start adding all this smoked paprika and smoked chili powder, right? And smoked pepperoncini, and all of a sudden you've got this depth of flavor in there that, I mean, it's unbelievable, okay? Now I got a couple of my, well, one more, right? I've got a 1/2 teaspoon of cumin, right? And that's really gonna give you that gives you that depth of chili flavor, which is, when I say chili, I mean in the chili, right? And then I've got a couple of the Borio secret ingredients here. I've got a 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon. Oh, that is great. And I've got a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. And those 2 ingredients, again, when you mix that with all the other ingredients, it really starts to add a complexity of flavor that's fantastic, right? I've got some mascarpone cheese, okay, and what we're gonna do with this is rather than sour cream, we're gonna thin it down just a little bit with 4 tablespoons of heavy cream, right? And I've got about 8 ounces of mascarpone cheese, 4 tablespoons of the heavy cream, as I said. I've got some Italian bread. Why? Because I'm gonna slice that, so my mouth is watering, man. Salt and pepper it, grill it, and we're gonna put that right on the side. Oh, it's gonna be fantastic, right? I've got salts, I've got pink Himalayan. A lot of people ask why I use it, because it's sexy, in case you guys didn't know that. And as always, I gotta plug the olive oil, right? So I got Vito and Joe's. I have a farm in Italy. We co-op with a few farms. We bring you some of the best olive oil on the planet, okay? And what I mean by that, it's grassy, earthy, peppery. It's really delicious. It's true, authentic Italian olives, grown in Italy, pressed in Italy within a day, and it's extra virgin. So you guys can get it on my Facebook page, Cooking Italian Joe, or on Amazon, punch in Vito and Joe's, or you can get it right on our webpage, Cooking Italian Joe. Okay, ingredients are done. There was a lot, wasn't it? Okay, hot and sweet sausage. All I want to do here is I want to remove the casings, right? So I'm just going to grab a sharp knife and cut it through, and then you're just going to pull the casing off. And I'm going to do this with my sweet and my hot sausage. Okay, sausage done. I'm going to put it by the stove. Time to prep our vegetables. Now, I don't know if you guys noticed or not, got some Sinatra playing, and I got Sinatra Swinging with the Brass. Great album. I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but Italian chili always comes out better if you got Frank Sinatra playing. Or Dino. You can hit some Dino. So that's it. Anything else, I'm telling you, you're going to have a problem. All right, so we got our green onions covered here. All right, so we're just going to cut these puppies off, clean it, right? And then, you know, you can go a ½ inch, a little less. Now we're gonna stop, because once I get to that area where it's really hollow, that's what we want to keep for the top. Green onion's done. Oh, doesn't it look beautiful? Ends off, cut it in the middle, give it a quick peel. You can just give it a couple slices across the back side here, and then just come across the side. And you want 1/4 inch squares. And then that last piece, you just give it a chop. Onion's done. Red pepper, yellow pepper, orange pepper. So you're just gonna cut it in half, right? Perfect. Grab your trash bowl. I keep it in the sink as I'm cooking. There you go. Give it a tap, everything's out. Oh, whoa, stuff so fresh is blowing all over the place. Easiest way to do the peppers is put the flesh side up, skin side down. That way your knife goes right through it. See how easy that is? So just line them up. And again, we're going for that same size, if you will, in that onion. And we want 1/4 inch. Because remember, you want to eat it and you want a nice bite size coming in your mouth. How beautiful is that, you guys? Okay, last but not least, our garlic. So you gotta hit that puppy up. Just bang them right up, right? Crush them a little bit, splits the casing on them. Listen, a little advice from the Italian. You were hanging out with people that don't like garlic, they say, ooh, does it have garlic in it? Cut them loose, scrape them off, get them out of your life. Anyway, I don't trust people that don't like garlic, number one, so I'm just kidding, kind of. All right, so we're gonna get this up, and then same thing, we're gonna cut this up nice and small. So just get that little end off. Same thing here, just cut it in half. You can do a couple of them, right? Almost just like we did with the onion. I like slices in there, so, and then just slice it up. Beautiful, look at that, huh? Ooh, it smells good in here. Time for our garden. So I got one of my pans, right? So I got 2 pans I'm gonna use. I'm gonna use a little Vito Joe's extra virgin olive oil, greatest olive oil in the world. Did I plug that already? Okay, just checking. I don't know if you got a bottle yet, that's all. And I'm gonna use, you know, maybe a 1/4 cup in there of olive oil, all right? And I'm gonna put everything in there but the garlic, because the garlic, if you cook the garlic too much, sometimes it gets a little bitter. So I'm gonna hold back on my garlic. Beautiful, isn't that gorgeous? All right, we're gonna go on the stove, we're gonna heat that puppy up. Got the heat on high, and I want this to get hot. We wanna roast this, okay? So I got the olive oil in there, I'm gonna give it a stir. Get everything coated. While that's going, I want my meat to get going. So I'm gonna stir some olive oil in the meat. Vito and Joe's. Did I plug that already? Didn't know if you got a bottle yet. Now I'm gonna get the heat going on the meat. We don't wanna just cook it. We wanna brown it and caramelize. That's what's gonna give you that flavor, just like the peppers. So I'm gonna add my sausage. I'm gonna add my burger. And I'm gonna add my pancetta. And then I'm gonna add some salt. So I'm gonna add about ½ of a teaspoon of salt. And I'm gonna add my pepper to the meat. Then what I'm gonna do is just take my wooden spatula here and start breaking it and mixing it up. While the meat's going, I want to add some pepper to season it, and I want to add a little salt. Just a pinch of salt. And while it's getting hot, the salt will absorb into the, whoa, you see how fresh that is? Jumping right out of the pan. I'll tell you something else that's really important. You get chili, Italian chili, cooking Italian with Joe style to come out great, is if you subscribe to our channel. You like that transition? So there's a red button right down. If you click it, what it does is anytime we do a recipe, anytime I travel to Italy, some cooking tips, travel tips, it'll send you an alert or a notification, and you can come check us out. And I'll tell you, it would be great to have you part of the family. You know what I'm saying? So keep breaking apart the meat and stirring it. Peppers and onions. All right, peppers and onions. See how we're starting to get some black spots in there? Oh, that's good. All right, now we want to add our garlic. Beautiful. Oh. 12 minutes gone by. See how beautiful that is? Everything's starting to blacken, caramelize, stick. Right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to turn the heat down. Now we're going to add our butter, and that's going to help to glaze the pan. So we're going to get all that flavor from the moisture from the butter. Now I'm going to let that simmer for about 2 to 3 more minutes. It's been about 6 minutes, so I just want to show you. See how it's starting to brown on the bottom there? That's what I want. So I want about 3 or 4 minutes of that browning of the meat. I'll tell you, the smell in here is unbelievable. Can you smell it? Wouldn't that be great if you had smell-o-vision and taste-o-vision, right? So I got my peppers, onions, garlic, butter, olive oil, salt, pepper going, great. My meat is browned beautifully. Now see, the reason I don't want to add any of my spices while I'm browning the meat is it'll come in contact and it'll burn, it'll ruin the flavor. Meat's done and brown. Now what I want to do is turn the heat down just above a simmer, and then I'm going to start adding my ingredients. Add my cinnamon, and then I'm going to add my nutmeg. And I want to add this now because this is when the flavors start driving into the meat. Add my chili powder, my paprika, smoke, my peppercini, hey, how you doing? My cumin, my thyme, my oregano, and I want to mix all that right into the meat. And I'm going to let that go for maybe about 2 to 3 minutes at a low heat because I want all that flavor to drive into the meat. It's been a few minutes, so now I want to add my roasted caramelized pepper, onion, garlic. And again, we're just driving that beautiful flavor in there. So you're going to let about a minute go by after the peppers and garlic and onion, and then I'm going to add my tomato paste. And stir in that tomato. I'm going to come over to my pan. See all that goodness along the side? You're going to take some of your vegetable stock. About half of it, maybe a little bit more. I'm going to keep stirring this until I get a membership of the Clean Pan Club. See how nice and beautiful that is? All right, so we're pretty much perfect right there. Now I want to add a little bit of this to our meat. See, I got a little crusting of that beautiful flavor from the meat, the caramelization on the meat. I want to deglaze that. So I'm going to add some of that vegetable stock. And I'm going to add maybe about half. And what I want to do now is while it's hot, I want to stir it, scraping the bottom. I want all that goodness from the bottom to come up. So now when you look at the bottom, see the bottom, how it's almost fully deglazed? Now I'm going to add the rest of my vegetable stock. Now turn your heat way down, and we just got to add the cannellini beans. And again, they're fragile, so you just want to do a nice light stir here. You don't want to break the beans up. All we're doing now is letting the beans warm up and letting all the flavors marry. Now I'm going to mix that mascarpone cheese and the cream. And again, all I'm trying to do is get the mascarpone cheese a little bit thinner. That's all I'm going to do. So I just take a little cream, mix it in, stir it for about a minute and a half. All right, so I got my chili, I got my Italian bread toasted. Oh man, that is, you know, it just brings out that beautiful rustic flavor in there, right? So then I've got my bowl, my mascarpone cheese, and my chives. So I'm going to go ahead and start serving this puppy. Oh, look at that. Can you just smell that coming into the camera? Now what I'm doing is get our mascarpone cheese, right? I'm going to put a hunk of that right on there, right? And just a little bit of that. A couple pieces of toast. Favorite time in the video, guys. I mean, let's be honest, right? Can you smell that right there? Oh my God. I mean, the whole kitchen is filled with just awesomeness. So I'm gonna get that beautiful bite, right? I wanna get the chili, a little bit of that mascarpone cheese. Oh, you can smell that roasted everything, you know, the chili, the flavors. what jumps right out at you with the mascarpone cheese, the onion, the garlic, the chili, and all that roasted flavor. And the oregano, the thyme, the cumin. Oh my God. The garlic, the peppers. And it's got flavors all the way down. I'm afraid to invite my mother over because I think that's better than mom's chili. Now that's a recipe for chili right there, man. Cooking Italian with Joe, forget about it style. One thing I want to remind you guys of right at the end of our video here is spend some time with your family in the kitchen. You know, give everybody a job, make a mess, make some mistakes, doesn't matter. You know, celebrate your heritage and set traditions with your kids. Certainly seasonal, it's always great around the holidays. Shut off the electronics and the TV and get to know each other on a level that you can share with them every week and they can share with their kids and their grandkids. That's what I do with you guys every single week, and I love to do it. I want to remind you guys, hop on our Facebook or our Cooking Italian with Joe website or on Amazon, punch in Vito and Joe's, grab yourself a bottle of the best olive oil in the world, Vito and Joe's, right from Italy. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel, that big red button right down there, boom. Want to make you part of the family. And you'll get little reminders and messages and notifications of all my travels, all my recipes, all my cooking tips, guys. Have some fun with this recipe, guys. I hope it becomes a tradition for you and your family. Until next week, mwah, bon
A good
appetito.
life full of fun seems to be the